Welcome back to the shop, everybody. Today is a fairly big day because, well, this is getting pulled out to be skinned. That is right. It is finally the day that I got to remove all of the Filon from back here, and it is now back out on the driveway, all nice laid out. Should be fairly easy to get to. So we got to get this thing all the way outside for the very first time today. Sorry for all the noise. I got semis and fans and all that running over here. Whoa, that's good. All right, so as it seems, nothing at all can ever go right. We ended up getting misaligned on the doors as soon as that was cut out. So we ended up having to realign that. And we figured out that if you are cutting the door out, to put the clamps as you're cutting the door, and that helps significantly. So we got this side done here. And we also got this side done now as well. However, this side ended up taking longer than it should have because I was halfway done with the door, actually like 3/4 done with the door, and my router bit decided to break on me. So that meant a quick trip across the road here to get 2 more router bits. And as you see, this stuff is very messy and definitely getting in my stash. So I sent John, my buddy, off to go and get some Powerade and whatever else he wanted to drink for a little break because it is about 95 to 97 out here right now, and it is just really hot. Unfortunately, this was the only day that he could help with this, which I am very grateful. The next step is going to be putting the roof Filon up and over and getting that cut. That might be a little bit trickier as I'm not really sure how to make sure that it doesn't shift on one side while I'm cutting the other, all while making sure that it is laying flat on the roof. So fingers crossed that we don't have trouble with the router or getting that lined up and right. This idiot and I put the top Filon on the roof there. We've got a couple of bricks holding it down, and then on the front here he had the idea of putting a piece of wood across and the long clamps to hold down that front on the curve. If it's gonna work, I don't know, but we're gonna sure as hell gonna give it a try. So we got the back cut and both sides cut. So now we just raised up this bar over here and we'll be cutting off that extra little piece there. Editing, John. All right, so now we got the whole trailer trimmed up here. We're gonna go ahead and start to peel back all of this little plastic covering so that we can try to get that done as well. Unfortunately, my buddy's ride came a little sooner than he thought, so we did not get any of the trim on the corners here. And a part of the reason why we don't even have one done is because, as you can see here, we have a plastic coating over the Filon. Well, he was able to get all of one side pretty much done and pulled up so that that trim could go along it. Unfortunately, the other side seems that it was the outside of the roll, and that side is giving me some issues. Let me show you. So as you can see, I got a lot of it pulled out and away from the edge. However, as soon as we get like right here, this stuff is just really, really tight to the Filon, and it's not wanting to peel off as it should. And when we get down here, it's basically bonded to the Filon. So unfortunately, that means that I probably am not going to get any of the trim on it today, which is okay because I've got a couple of questions about it anyways. It does kind of stink because that means that I'm going to spend the next couple of hours, if not longer, trying to delaminate that plastic coating from over the Filon itself. I tried to accomplish this by using a blow dryer to warm up the plastic. However, that didn't work so well, so I got out my steamer. I First tried to use a scraper with a dull-sided blade on it. However, I was still gouging the Filon in a couple of places. So I decided to go ahead and make myself a plastic scraper using the same plastic that I used to cover the wire chase on the inside of the trailer. However, this got dull fairly quickly and I had to continue to sharpen it by cutting off a little bit with a razor blade. Although this did work better than the previous option. I then started to use a drywall knife. However, the corners of it started to catch on the Filon, so therefore I went ahead and rounded those over, and that seemed to work quite a bit better, and I was able to get the steam right on the area that I was working. It is now a few days later, and well, although I did get the Filon plastic off of it in a lot of spots, like I said, it was going to be a pain, and I've already got like 5 hours into scraping some of that off of there. So I ended up having to do from right about here all the way to here, and then here all the way down to the front. Now when I got done with this piece up here, I thought, whew, I'm glad that that's over with. However, I then decided to go ahead and remove some of the plastic from around the doorways and found out that I wasn't quite done, because from here all the way down and around to right about here, I also needed to do. Now, unfortunately, there are a few places that have some scratches in them from me removing the plastic protective spots, but I think that most of the bad spots will be covered.